Brent Bramer's foursome, who represented St. Jean-Baptiste at this 2000 Safeway Select, featured 3 former junior champions. Third, Chris Galbraith skipped his team to the Canadian junior title in 1995. And Chris's brother Brian, who plays lead for the Bramer rink, was a member of that team as well. Skip Brent Bramer is a product of the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Factory and a 2-time Manitoba junior champ, winning the provincial title in 1987 and 88. This was Bramer's 6th trip to the Provincials. He reached the semifinals last year, playing third for Dave Bomer.
Select Company is brought to you by Robin's Donuts and Deli. Day and night, the food's just right with 50 locations to serve you. And by the Prairie Ford dealers. It's always been Ford.
And certainly lots and lots of natural ability on that team, and that was the team that I expected to make some noise, and they did. They lost the qualifier to Barry Fry. Certainly one of the big questions was what the chemistry would be like between Brent and Chris. Very different individuals. To lose a final qualifier suggests that things were working all right.
So if you've just joined us this morning, let's bring you up to date. We're playing the B-side final of this 2000 Safeway Select. Jeff Stoughton versus Murray Warren, the defending champion, tied at 3. And the winner of this game will go on to meet Don Spriggs this afternoon at 2 o'clock for the championship.
Well, and it's been a very, very good game, and certainly tied up in the 8th end is what you would expect at this level in provincial play.
A good look at Reg Warren.
No.
You know, Terry's a real good player, but he's struggled a little bit in the last couple of ends. I think just getting a little bit of motion to his rock and just having a hard time hitting and sticking around and putting the rock in the right spots. And even though it suggests that they're both playing really well, I think that you will have seen that Reg's percentages maybe have dropped a little bit from where they were. Particularly, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the 2nd position, because I felt in the last couple ends Terry was shaking his head more and more after he finished throwing.
All right. Whoa.
And we'll get a chance to see after the rest of the percentages for the rest of the team. Murray wanting another guard. Important to him to have an opportunity to force the game a little bit. He's not interested in having Jeff Stoughton blank the next couple. He does want to force him to take one at some point in the next 2.
Yeah, Jeff's got a decision to make too, depending on where things end up here, whether he decides to bail out and try and blank or go for a deuce on that. It's very careful. He's got to be very careful on this too.
Stop.
Well, and here's what we're talking about earlier, which, I don't know, maybe I'm in the in the wrong ballpark, showing Terry out curling Gary Vandenberg, which is, we talked that earlier in the game, Doug Armstrong and Gary Vandenberg were struggling a little bit. Percentage points for the 3rd, very, very strong performance by both players. And it skips, anytime you're over 80%, you're in great shape, and Jeff certainly has turned his game around. And you have to remember on shots like the last one that Murray Warren attempted, which is why you don't like stats, Don, it's an all or nothing shot. Yeah, that's a 0, but the percentage or the degree of difficulty is huge.
But if he ever makes it, he couldn't care less what kind of percentage he shoots.
And I'm sure he doesn't care either out there right now.
Yeah, because he wins the game if he makes a shot like that.
Yes, hard.
Lauren Sambrook with his first rock of this 8th end.
Real hard.
Sounded inside when they let it go.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's on the guard.
Whoa. Yep.
Murray looking for the options of playing off the board. The other reason that that doesn't work in his favor is that he's taken away the center guard, which is something that Murray Warren's team really worked hard to get there.
And now the end is set up for Jeff to score 2.
He's going to try and prevent a setup for a double by either Lauren or Murray. So you want to get it over in the tee line, sort of as far over as you can.
I don't think you can hit that one. T-line. T-line for sure. Line's real nice. Come on, T-line.
He wants it at least the tee line, wanting to make sure that it is as difficult as possible for the Warren team to make the double.
Nice.
Nice shot.
Nicely done.
Exactly where he wanted it.
And as mentioned earlier, the winner of this game will meet Don Spriggs in the championship final this afternoon on Global at 2 o'clock.
And I'm sure that'll be quite the battle. We certainly have seen Don Spriggs' team play very, very well from the lead right to the skip position. And will be a test for whoever comes through this game.
Nope. Okay, enough.
A little bit of a roll, but that's actually an advantage to Stoughton. If he can hit and stick over there, that certainly makes it almost impossible to make any sort of double.
I can just hit it, eh? Okay. Don't hit. Normal.
Giving him the choice because as Stoughton does lie 1 now, one of the other options could be just to draw the second stone in there.
Whoa. Whoa!
Oh, he's a long way out here. Is he going to come across enough to stick around? I don't think so. Oh, bad shot. Bad shot by Jonathan Meade. That's a simple shot, but they had to execute. There's where the execution has to be perfect. Now he's just, that's his deuce. Gone. Now they have to go back to the strategy trying to blank the end.
Well, and it certainly does let Murray Warren off the hook. Once again, favoring his preferred turn, we've seen very clearly as the out turn.
Whoa. No, no.
It came out a little bit full, and it's
Yeah,
just
he's gonna get
staying
the rollout
exactly
also.
where he threw it.
Slid wide. I'm gonna slid wide. You didn't throw that very good. Good combination, eh?
Well, very honest about how they're throwing the rock.
Jeff would like to make it, put it over there in front of Jonathan. Still upset about his shot, because it was an easy deuce for them. Really, they don't come any easier than that. And I think someone just maybe lost a little focus there. Jeff would like to come and just sit shot, maybe on the tee line, in front of that other one. Outside possibility of a jam by Murray Warren.
Line's pretty close. Line's good. Line's good. Right to it. Whoa, Doug. Line's good. Whoa. Line's real good. No. Line's real nice. Line's perfect. Go. Whoa, good. That's good. Shot, Jeff.
Well, they're hoping for a jam on this one.
Died at the end of it.
And what it does too is it forces Murray to hit on the outside and stride it. He can't hit it on the. He doesn't want to hit it on the nose. He's forced to try and pick it off, which means then Jeff would just have a throw through.
Oh, no. We foot. Yep. Oh.
So mission accomplished for Murray Warren in removing the stone, but also for Jeff, allowing him a free blank. Terry Warren, thinking the end was over, just kicking rocks off. They pointed out to him it's important to leave the rocks there until it's over.
Everyone were curled.
Now you're okay.
So they blank the 8th in. We'll go to 9. Still tied at 3 in this B-side final between Jeff Stoughton and Murray Warren.
Get your tickets for the world's hottest event on ice. The Labatt Brier 2000. The Big Freeze is coming. Call Select a Seat at 1-888-9687-888.
The Crocus Investment Fund has invested in each of these great companies, and that means jobs.
Crocus Investments are really helping Manitoba companies grow.
However you look at the numbers, they all add up to Crocus, one of the best performing funds of its kind in Canada.
Crocus is really working for me and for Manitoba.
Want to know more? Call Crocus or see your financial advisor or credit union.
The Safeway Select is brought to you in part by Robin's Donuts and Deli. Day and night, the food's just right with 50 locations to serve you in Manitoba. And by Icon Office Solutions, the way business gets communicated.
As morning breaks in communities all across Canada, Robin's helps you start your day with our special blend coffee.
A full-bodied brew, guaranteed fresh on the first taste, or we'll replace it.
And Robin's mealtime combos and freshly prepared subs are welcome anytime.
At work or at play.
Part of your community. You always get a break at Robin's.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries presents one sweetheart of a sale just in time for Valentine's Day. Over 150 gorgeous Lazy Boy chairs on display and priced as low as $379. Come in today and find your true love.
Now at Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries, you can save on more than 1,000 custom order fabrics, which means our furniture can adapt to any surrounding, not to mention any budget.
After capturing the 1999 Safeway Select Trophy with an impressive showing in Portage La Prairie, Jeff Stoughton's Manitoba foursome moved on to the Brier in Edmonton and just kept right on rolling. Stoughton finished first in the round-robin portion of the Brier, compiling an 8-3 record throughout the week. In the semifinal playoff, they defeated Quebec's E. Hemmings and would defeat Hemmings again 9-5 in the Brier final. Stoughton captured his second Canadian title and Manitoba's fourth in the 90s.
Champions is brought to you by Crocus Investment Fund, bringing your investments home. And by Wellington West Capital. Life is good.
Well, and you saw Jeff waving to Riley and Cole, and I'm sure they're probably at home somewhere watching their dad perform yet again. I know wife Sue is here in attendance, and an opportunity for me to say hello to my two little ones at home, Gaetan and Jacques, who's 15 months. And Ronnie, if you don't know where they are, perhaps you should go look for them.
Next week.
I live in fear.
Ron's watching curling, and I don't blame him. It's been a pretty good game here between Jeff Stoughton and Murray Warren. And Kathy Gauthier, let's take us to the afternoon final. One of these two teams is going to come through, obviously, to meet Don Spriggs. Don's and the team are in their hotel rooms, obviously, probably watching this game. Now, what happens in terms of choice of rocks?
Well, throughout the competition, the rules are very clear that the team on the top of the draw on the program throws red and the team on the bottom throws yellow. When you get to an A-B final, there is no clear team on the top and the bottom. So one of the advantages to Don Spriggs of having one A side is that he will have his choice of color and selection of any stones in the building. They still will determine last rock by coin toss.
Great shot there by Reg Warren.
Big difference in the two leads there in Doug Armstrong. He just couldn't bury the rock. It's not moving a lot. And then when you see Reg throw, Reg actually turned that inside, and on the head it really moved on him. He just about missed it, but a nice hit and roll.
So then Don Spriggs could decide to actually play the set of rocks that one of these two teams are using right now. Let's say the winning team's rocks.
Well, he may have had a selection. I'm not sure what happened here. I know at the national level, the team that wins the A side must declare before this morning's game which color they want, so that, for example, technically Don sitting in his hotel room knowing that he's either throwing Murray Warren's set or Jeff's, but keep in mind too, Don Spriggs will pick color, but he may not choose to throw either set of the rocks that are being played on. He gets the choice from the building. And so for strategy-wise, Jeff is going to be very happy to blank this end and have that last rock coming home. And for Murray Warren, he really would like to force it a little bit and have a chance to get Jeff to perhaps have to take one or steal one. But by rolling out there, Jeff has the opportunity to blank.
He was taking a chance going early with Dougie Armstrong to see if he could maybe set up a deuce or possibly even a 3. But now that he realizes it's getting this far, now he's going to blank. He's going to go for the blank.
So it'll be an all or nothing 10th end.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I don't know if our cameras have been able to kind of catch it, but you watch the Warren team and the different members, they're all smiling to different individuals up in the crowd.
And it's wonderful. We were able to listen to Lauren Sandbrook talk to his kids during one of the 5th ends, and he has a young son out here, and his son said to him, "Dad, you know, you're on TV," and he just looked at him and he said, "I guess it's going to be you next." And so this is one of the great events that children and young kids can watch and think, you know, this is where I want to be someday. And in this sport, it's a very good possibility. So we'll have the peeling game. Oh dear.
Well, that makes it a little more difficult to blank. He threw quite a bit of weight on that one. He really fired it.
The miss by Gary Vandenberg, and
Full 8's good.
a chance now for Warren to ask Lauren Sandbrook to get behind the guard and force the issue a little bit here in the 9th end.
Well, it's a big opportunity for Lauren. There's no question about that.
Oh, lots of room yet. Oh. Where is it? Leave it as long as you can, anyway. Yep, bring it. Bring it. Hard.
Boy, that grabbed up.
Going sideways as it's dying.
Shot. Oh, what?
Well, that's a real good shot because it is in front of the tee line.
And it is just peeking out from behind the guard.
Jeff may go after it with a hack weight.
Conversely, the Stoughton team, very business-like right now, very serious. See the intent on their faces, especially from Jonathan Meade.
Well, this is very serious stuff out here.
Oh, is he by? Whoa, nice
Just
shot.
by.
Great sweeping.
Shot. Well, they want to get it. Actually, he wants to get it way over there. He'd like to get it way over in the.
You know, Jonathan just about screamed that rock by the guard. And really, when you hear that panic, certainly for the front end, they know they have to work really, really hard to get it by.
This time?
But he wanted to roll a little further. But now he he gives Lauren Sandberg a chance to hit and roll in behind the guard.
Hurry!
But he sounds like he's inside.
Hurry! Hard! Real hard! Hard! Oh, no. Okay.
Well, the roll, but certainly not the way that they were hoping.
And Jeff's pondering the
he's
hit and the roll behind the guard.
Well, it's so far up now.
Okay.
Well, it is a big shot. Jeff's not content just to blank this. If Jonathan can make a great roll, there is the potential for Jeff to score 2.
Hurry!
And he'd be very happy to do that.
Hurry! Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice shot.
Fresh, boys. Thanks. Nice. First one's close, eh?
Difference in the weight there.
Just a touch.
I was almost going to get very little turn. That's a zone spot right down at center line. That flare.
Yeah, just got to sort of tight him.
Oh, big time.
What's that?
I said big time.
Yeah. Nice reaction, though.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh! No!
Murray Warren looking for the roll. Really important to stick around.
No, he's
which
not
he's
gonna
not
stick
going to do.
Okay.
So decision time for Jeff. Will he play for 2 or the blank?
We had this discussion last night, didn't we?
You guys like peel?
Still a little bit falling. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, we know the front end wants peel.
Just enough.
Because earlier in the game, they had a chance for 3. They like peel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Gary did it.
Gary wants, let's get out of this. I have to support that. I think this is the right call.
You guys like the peel or the draw? Hey? Oh.
Throw it back at him.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he got a response from Gary Vandenberg.
Gary's pretty determined to peel.
Yes.
Doug's sort of sitting on the fence.
Yep. Clean.
He's got it.
Clean, just clean, just clean.
There. I wonder if they put up a guard if Doug should throw a different rock.
That's what I was going to tell him. Throw the second one. Like, his second one's going to be a peel, right?
Probably.
So,
You should try and get around with that other one. Yeah.
actually, I wouldn't even mind leaving that one. Leave that one for me.
Just for appeal.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is
sometime. I think if he's going to draw, he should draw one that curls a little bit.
during the course of the game, one of the things that they have determined is that they don't feel that Doug Armstrong's rocks are matched. One of them has consistently run straighter than the other, and so what they're trying to do is sort of strategically decide when they should use that rock and when it's to their advantage. And it is really important that players are able to pick up on that. Doug, you know, we kept saying, gosh, you know, he's hitting and rolling out. That's not like Doug. And obviously, they've decided that it isn't like Doug, and it is, in fact, one of the rocks is not the same.
I don't think it did.
And so for Jeff, an opportunity to blank and retain that very important last rock in the 10th.
Yeah, he'd made the decision early with Vandenberg, and even though they got away with it actually with Gary, it missed a hit, missed a peel, and they did get away with it because of the roll out there.
Yep. Easy, easy. Yep.
Final rock of the ninth then.
Good.
Plenty of weight, not a problem. Nice shot.
And Stoughton rolls out. And we're going to come home to the 10th, tied at 3 in this B-side final. Jeff Stoughton against Murray Warren. Medora, yes, he's from there. The population, 36.
Come for the flavor, come for the taste, stay for the good times, you know the place. We'll treat you special, we'll treat you right. You're the reason Chicken Chef is cooking something good tonight. Come on out, come on in to Chicken Chef. We're cooking something good for you. Come on in to Chicken Chef. We're cooking up something good for you.
Curling brooms were once like this, but times change, things get better. Now a broom is like this.
The same is true with cell phones. They used to be like this. Now it's the Motorola V phone.
No one knows more about cell phones than Elite Communications, your MTS mobility ever.
Elite Communications, your MTS mobility center.
You're really sweet, well done.
Above and beyond the call.
The Safeway Select is brought to you in part by Manitoba Blue Cross, committed to caring, and by Chicken Chef Family Restaurants. Real quality, real value, real selection, made in Manitoba.
Now, what'll it be, sweetheart? Let me guess. A nice cold.
Fun, joy, and Pepsi on your tongue. That ready to stay sensational. You go, girl.
Your business demands that you do it all, but why do it alone? Get all your business communication solutions from the experts who can help you accomplish more. We're Icon Office Solutions.
For my final four, I'm going with Pat Spiring, Alan Lyburn, Kerry Burtnick, and Jeff Stoughton. And I really think Stoughton's going to do it. I think he's got the desire to go back at it again. And for a long shot, I'm going to go with a big cop, Donnie Nelson.
Oh, not bad, except for Don Nelson.
Well, Spiring was hanging in there. We all misjudged Lyburn, but we all felt the same about him. Stoughton and Burtnick. Donnie Nelson. Well, you don't bet against a big cop, and he's still lurking around.
He's still in the building.
He's my buddy,
so
though.
He
He thinks this is great, so that's okay with me.
Interesting, we just saw it's a bit of a miscue. Clearly for Warren's team, what they need to do is steal in a tied-up coming-home game, so they throw the center guard. What the call for Doug Armstrong was is the tick or to remove it from play, and one of the risks that you face when you play that shot is to leave more guards, and so that's why most teams play bumperish sort of weight. Doug underthrew it a bit, so he did in fact move it off the 4-foot, but what he's left is 2 guards covering the 8-foot, which is not the situation that Stoughton wants.
Yeah, good force. It now forces Stoughton into making a
Although
lot
they
of shots
were,
rather than
Murray Warren certainly looking for a
pulling up guard.
longer center guard here than he's getting.
This one slides into the top 12.
Yep. Hard! Whoa, yep, yep!
Boy, that one moves on them.
Just a little lighter.
And I think it's just slipped out.
Worth a measure? Nope.
Well, it could be a very valuable rock to the Stoughton team.
But we should add that our overhead is maybe not precisely over.
Well, and we're
rings.
also not sure because we haven't seen any measures during the course of the week to detect whether the rings are fat or thin. So it's certainly close enough that I know if that's the only rock in play, certainly Stoughton's team would be measuring that. Murray Warren looking for another guard.
Oh. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Very, very slow rotation.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh.
Not much handle to it there.
Jeff's opting to just keep that center open. Some may have thought he might go for the double on the front too, but he wants to make sure that that forefoot is open.
Just clean. Woo, woo. Good throw, Gary.
Jeff Stoughton was hoping for a kind of neat and tidy 10th end. It's going to be a little more trickier than that.
Once again, Murray Warren looking for a center guard from second, Terry Warren.
No.
You watch the handle, very, very slow rotation, which means that it will drift rather than actually curl. Very slow. Which is why Jeff referred to at the 5th end break that their rocks were moving much more so than his.
Hard. Good.
And another successful peel by Gary Vandenberg.
Now we're in the 3rd stone, so there may be a change in strategy here.
Would he peel the guard and then we could put another one up? I don't know.
Lauren's thinking about putting another guard, or Murray's thinking about putting another guard, and Lauren may be thinking about coming in.
Don't think we should go around one of them right now. We get around it, will he peel it? And then we'll put another center guard up?
If you don't, he's going to be on down. That's what we want. He'll peel.
Yeah, he'll peel. I don't know. It's whatever you think. It may be tougher to peel over here than center. I don't know. But I just thought if we put one. Yeah, even if we leave half of it sticking out or something. Well, not this one. No. Not this one. We don't need to leave. Make them this one. And then make them peel. Yeah, go around that one. That one? Yeah, because this is a better one to go. This is a better one to go around. No, no, Murray. No? Right behind it. Okay.
So the decision is that it seems to be very easy to peel rocks on the center line. And so the suggestion by Lauren, it's certainly supported by the front end, is that perhaps this is the time to completely bury a stone. And if they do so, and Jeff peels it, which is what they expect, then they will throw a center guard, which forces Jeff into a decision about, do I keep the forefoot open or do I hit the one in the house? And so what they're really doing by making this decision is just changing the tempo and the shots for the Stoughton team.
Whoa, line's good. Whoa. Line's good. Oh. No, line's good. No.
He wants to get in behind. It's just not moving there near the end. A little further back.
Okay.
It is behind the guard, but in the back 12.
This way.
And so for Jeff, he's not at all concerned about a rock that's in the back 12 foot. The one concern he does have are the rocks in front of the house. And the one that he feels that he wants to get rid of is the Yellowstone, which of course is the stone of the Warren team. And if Jonathan hits this, fortunately, he may double off the back one, or if it cuts really hard for him, he may get the double off the front.
John.
A lot of weight.
A lot of weight in.
He was trying to get the jam on the back, of course.
Sure he was, but I mean, ultimately, Jeff's goal was to have the forefoot open for his last shot. So the fact that Warren's team has one buried is not really concerning Jeff at this point.
Make sure you're over, though.
So now they throw a center guard, which was in their plan.
No. No.
And you can hear the crowd. Even though there may only be 36 people in Medora, there are many more here in the building who are showing their appreciation as each player has thrown for the Warren team for the great show that they continue to put on this week.
So if he can do a peel here, maybe just, he can still hit and roll out probably and still possibly jam it and double off that back one.
Yep. Whoa. Hit. Hard!
He's done it. Look at this.
Great shot. Removes the one in the house as well as the center guard. He's pretty happy with that.
It's definitely opened up the 4-foot.
Well, and he's taken a huge amount of pressure off Jeff because now not only is the center line open, but also there isn't another rock that Jeff currently has to outdraw for his last shot. The way that it's shaping up, it's going to be very difficult for Murray Warren to, I mean, he's essentially going to have a complete miss to win this game. And every year there comes a new team that seems to go further and further, but it has been a long time since we have seen a team perform this well that people haven't really known a lot about going in. And this team has not gotten this far because other teams have missed a ton of rocks against them. It's because they have made shot after shot after shot, and they have put on a great display again today. And in that 7th end, there certainly was a difficult shot, but a shot. If he makes it, who knows what happens.
Looking back at that 7th end in which Warren gambled to possibly score 4, maybe 5, when he might have been, the percentages were more in his favor to score 2. Looking back now with the score as it is, that single point that was the more high percentage shot.
He really didn't have another one, Joe, though. You know, he almost had to play that because if you remember, all the rocks were really guarded. He really didn't have an easy shot, if you will, for 2. It was sort of all or nothing, where the difference was in that end was on Lawrence Sandbrook's first shot when they made the decision to try to draw to the Safeway S to be shot, and they let it go. They were worried about line, and all of a sudden at the end they thought, oh my, we could get shot. That little sweeping error ultimately cost them an extra point. So they could have technically been in a decision 1 up, coming home without. Now, who's to say how the strategy would have changed? But that, in my opinion, is sort of the only turning point in the game that really could have gone Murray Warren's way that didn't. And so for Murray Warren, his objective now is to bury his last rock around the corner guard, and the crowd very rightfully giving Murray Warren an ovation for a tremendous show this week. Even if he makes this perfect, it will be 8-foot, leaving Jeff the 4-foot for the point and the win.
And at this level,
stranger things have happened.
Just a wee
if
bit
you
less.
can't draw, you can't win. So this could be the final shot of this Safeway Select for Murray Warren.
Lots of room.
But he's going to make Jeff Stoughton throw his last one.
Lots of room.
Well, he's got the weight. They really do want to be buried so that it is just a draw for Jeff. They don't want to allow him a piece.
You want a piece of the 8-foot? They get full 8.
They get full 8-foot. And because we are so used to seeing Jeff Stoughton make these 4-foot shots, we assume it's automatic. And now Jeff getting, of course, the ovation that he too is deserved. This is a very difficult shot in a situation with as much pressure as it has. What he needs is a piece of the 4-foot to go on to face Don Spriggs this afternoon for the right to defend his title. Customary spin.
That isn't customary. The second check of the rock.
Wants to make sure it's clean. They have found a lot of debris on the ice today.
Well, with this shot, Jeff Stoughton will possibly get a chance to defend his title.
Jeff concerned that he has plenty of weight.
Easy.
Gary Vandenberg and Doug
Clean it.
walking beside it. He's close.
Clean it.
They're worried about cleaning it.
Jonathan Meade puts the broom up.
But he's made no
The
mistake
fist
about
shake.
it.
Jeff Stoughton will get a chance to defend the title this afternoon against Don Spriggs as he edges out Murray Warren 4-3 in this B-side final. And Murray Warren getting a standing ovation from the crowd here at the Keystone Center for a fabulous week of curling by his team from Medora. Well, a thrilling game, and we'll be back to talk about it on Global after this.
Shoppers Mall Brandon is proud to support the 2000 Safeway Select Men's Provincial Curling Championships. Watch for our expansion to open fall of 2000. Discover Shoppers Mall Brandon.
Jerry Little of Midtown Ford has always been a proud supporter of curling in Manitoba. He loves the teamwork, the same teamwork he brings to his dealership.
Working late tonight, Dennis?
Oh, just checking out some new angles, Jer.
That's the old team spirit.
Everyone working like a well-oiled machine to help the customer, Jerry thought. Midtown Ford, 750 Pembina Highway. Customers for life.
On the button.
It's $1 million twice a week. It's a game we call our own. Western 649. Here at home.
Play Western 649 at any Manitoba Lottery Ticket Center.
Western 649. Get a grin from ear to ear.
Okay, smile.
And remember this, my friend. The buck stop here. Buck stop here.
Cars, bars, movie stars, crooks, books, the latest looks, classifieds, taking sides, vacation spots, employment slots, business news, film reviews, Dow Jones and cell phones, world news, finding clues, local sports and local courts, health care, is it there? The nation's news in different hues, Bouchard, Manning, the last man standing, world leaders, bottom feeders, evolution, revolution, land, sea, and air pollution, questions that are on my mind, answers that I need to find.
The Free Press, it's worth knowing.
Come for the flavor, come for the taste, stay for the good times, you know the place. We'll treat you special, we'll treat you right. You're the reason Chicken Chef is cooking something good tonight. Come on out, come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking something good for you. Come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking up something good for you.
The Crocus Investment Fund has invested in each of these great companies, and that means jobs.
Crocus Investments are really helping Manitoba companies grow.
However you look at the numbers, they all add up to Crocus, one of the best performing funds of its kind in Canada.
Crocus is really working for me and for Manitoba.
Want to know more? Call Crocus or see your financial advisor or credit union.
Shoppers Mall Brandon is proud to support the 2000 Safeway Select Men's Provincial Curling Championships. Watch for our expansion to open fall of 2000. Discover Shoppers Mall Brandon.
The game was as close as the score indicates. Jeff Stoughton defeating Murray Warren 4-3 in this B-side final to give himself a chance to defend his title this afternoon.
Well, Jeff, congratulations. Kind of a wild game for you. It looked, you were under control. You had maybe a couple of chances for deuces, maybe in the 4th and the 8th. Jonathan rolled out when you had a really easy chance for 2 in the 8th, and that might have made a difference, but it came right down to the wire. And great draw to win, but kind of a wild game that way.
Yeah, it was a tough game. I mean, he made a great cross the house double in the fourth end to take away our 2-ender there, and you know, John was just a little wide on the 1 and 8, so that was a big break. But we also kind of dodged a little bullet in 7 when he had, you know, not a once in 10 shot type thing, and if he makes it, we could be down 3 or 4, and we were pretty fortunate.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the hearts were stopping there on that one, because boy, you'd been in big trouble if he makes that shot.
Yeah.
But I know you were uncomfortable with that end, the way it was shaping up. All of a sudden, you've got one rock there sort of guarded in the 4-foot, but then all of a sudden there's 3 rocks around there. So
yeah, his third man made a great draw right to the side of the button, and that sort of cooked us. So we were kind of going, oh boy, if he ever gets our one little red rock sitting in there out, we're done. But you know, we got the guards close enough, and we're fortunate just to give up the 1.
Well, you got to give them credit. You know, they were the surprise of the select here. They really came out of nowhere, and they knocked off Peters, Fry, and Burtnick, and you were the next one in the line. So you're the only one to beat them, and you got to give them full credit for what they've done.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they played a phenomenal game. And they obviously, I didn't watch too much of their other games, but they didn't miss much against us. They made all the draws, all the hit and rolls, and you know, their skipper displayed great. So you know, we're fortunate to win, but we struggled a bit, so we know we can play better, and we have to this afternoon.
Well, you kept your composure, which you always do. Your experience paid off here, and you know, it just showed near the end in a cool draw to win. You're used to this kind of limelight and that kind of stuff too, and you're full credit for the win.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that we got the rub off on the first rock. We were playing just to draw a top 4, but once it was over there, we got the center line guard off, so I knew I had the 4-foot open, and it was just what turn I had to play. So you know, the guy swept it right to T-line.
So now you're 1 shot away again. You got Spriggs again this afternoon, and you're looking forward to that, obviously, to be a repeat.
Oh yeah, we're really looking forward to it. You know, Don's team's had the morning off, all rested up, so they'll be fired up, and you know, we're gonna have to come out strong.
That's great. Well, we wish you well tonight, and it should be a lot of people in from Portage to watch anyhow.
Oh, I would think there'll be a good little crew coming in from Portage, but you know, the Brandon Arena's been good to us, and see if we can do another one.
All right. Well, good luck, and we wish you well in the game.
Thank you much.
Well, Jeff Stoughton's certainly right about the Keystone Center being very good to him. Kathy Gauthier, 1991 and 1996. He won his first 2 Manitoba championships here in this building, and he's going to look to make it 3 for 3 here in the Manitoba Championships that have held here in the Keystone Center.
Well, it has been really good to him, and what that says to me is a couple of things. One is he's obviously a very, very good, let me try that again, he's a very good team to have found himself in that situation. The other thing is, he talked about the crowds coming out from Portage. Jeff doesn't really care. He loves the crowds, and the cheering for the Warren team didn't bother him. He starts to build momentum with that. It gets him back to reflections of the Brier. So I think that the Keystone Center could be very good for him this afternoon, but it's also been very good for Don Spriggs this week, and I think that Don Spriggs is going to come out firing this afternoon.
Does Don Spriggs have any kind of advantage or insight? I know he's played, you know, Jeff Stoughton many times before, but he got a chance this morning to watch him in a game and struggle a little bit in a game.
Well, I think he did, and I think that for Don Spriggs' team is that what they saw is that Jeff bleeds. They're human, and that they do make mistakes, and Don Spriggs knows that. He had a very tight game, and with the exception of a steal and 2 in the 7th end, Don Spriggs could have been out here on the ice this morning wrapping up that title. Don knows what it's going to take to put that win together. He knows that the potential is there for him. I don't think he's frightened by what he's seeing, and he knows that his destiny is in his own hands.
All right, well, the destiny was in his own hands this morning for Jeff Stoughton, especially in the 10th end, and that's the shot, the final shot of the game that we selected as our game breaker, and it was a draw. Some people say it was a simple draw to the 4-foot, but they're never simple.
Well, and they're never simple when it means winning a championship or putting yourself in the position to do so. And in a tie game where you have all of the pressure on you, Murray Warren makes a great shot because he's in the 8-foot and buried. So Jeff has to draw the 4-foot. Earlier in the game, he might have been a little bit heavier. And what happened is this is where the great ice by Hans and his crew came in, and Jeff made no mistake, throwing it right in the 4-foot for the win.
The Game Breaker is brought to you by Chicken Chef Family Restaurants. Real quality, real value, real selection. Made in Manitoba. And by Western 649, our own 649 game.
Quick comment about the front end for the Stoughton team, which struggled a little bit in this game.
They really did. We're used to seeing Gary Vandenberg and Doug Armstrong make virtually everything, although we did hear later on in the game they felt that Doug Armstrong's rocks were not matched. They will have the opportunity to correct that by selecting different stones for this afternoon's game.
Okay, that is the story right now from the Brandon Keystone Center. 4-3, the score in the B-side final for Jeff Stoughton over Murray Warren.
Driving is all about control. Not having maximum control depends on your tires. So how are your tires? Really? So when's the last time you checked? You can't remember. This does nothing for Reg the Rubberman's ego, but Rubber understands. In fact, it's because of your lack of thought about tires that Rubberman is in a constant state of readiness. When a call comes in and there's a tire down, no one reacts faster. Listed in the yellow pages under Mere Tire because there's no listing for super fast, super affordable tire specialist.
Granny's Manitoba poultry hits the spot with every mouthful. Imagine the warm aroma of a Granny's turkey fresh out of the oven. As its sweet smell wafts through the house, it takes you back to family celebrations of days gone by. At Granny's, we're dedicated to making your family gatherings memorable year after year. Granny's Poultry, proudly Manitoba's only turkey processor.
Farm fresh taste and country goodness, Granny's.
Curling brooms were once like this, but times change, things get better. Now a broom is like this.
The same is true with cell phones. They used to be like this. Now it's the Motorola V phone.
No one knows more about cell phones than Elite Communications, your MTS Mobility Center.
Our friendly experts can tell you all about the V phone.
And MTS Mobility's lowest rates ever.
Elite Communications, your MTS Mobility Center.
You really sweep well, Don.
Above and beyond the call.
As morning breaks in communities all across Canada, Robbins helps you start your day with our special blend coffee.
A full-bodied brew, guaranteed fresh on the first taste, or we'll replace it.
And Robbins mealtime combos and freshly prepared subs are welcome anytime.
At work or at play.
Part of your community. You always get a break at Robbins.
Now, what'll it be, sweetheart? Let me guess. A nice cold Pepsi. I wouldn't want to hear one of those crazy voices of yours, huh?
Honey, you ain't heard nothing yet. Hit it, fellas.
Flavor, come for the taste, stay for the good times, you know the place. We'll treat you special, we'll treat you right. You're the reason Chicken Chef is cooking something good tonight. Come on out, come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking something good for you. Come on in to Chicken Chef, we're cooking up something good for you.
Jeff Stoughton winning the B-side final and getting a chance to repeat as Manitoba champion. That's only been done 4 times in the last 75 years. And Don Finkbeiner, only 2 men have ever skipped a team to the provincial championship 4 times. Howard Wood, of course, senior, and Ken Watson. Howard Wood did his 4 in 20 years. Ken Watson did his 4 in 13 years. Jeff Stoughton has a chance to do his 4 in 10 years.
Well, actually, Jeff's the 90s have been great, and of course, this being the turn of the century here, Stoughton has been absolutely remarkable. You saw signs of this in the 80s. He's a remarkably young player, like he and Burtnick and things like that. But the 90s have really been great for him, and you know, he's getting stronger over time. And yes, he has a chance to sort of go down in history as one of the greats of all time. And arguably, maybe Kerry Burtnick is the one that stands in his way of being that way, but I would suggest that Stoughton right now is the greatest Manitoba curler of all time.
And he could put a stamp on that this afternoon in the championship final against Don Spriggs. We'll be back to the Keystone Center at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then.
The 2000 Safeway Select Men's Provincial Curling Championship is brought to you by Canada Safeway. Select premium quality.